What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Dad Bod Pod, a place for men to learn, grow, and live the healthiest life possible. We are your hosts, Zach Smith, Anthony Hudson, and Jason Priest. However, Anthony is not with us today. Instead, we have a very special guest for you guys. We are pumped for today's show. You guys are going to get a lot of value. But before I go there, if you're a longtime listener, thank you so much for your commitment to us and trying to support us on our mission to make the largest impact we possibly can on the male obesity epidemic in our country. If you're a brand new listener, welcome to the show. We know you're going to love today's show, and we'd highly encourage you to go back and check out some of the prior episodes. We lay out the entire game when it comes to health. Just get plugged into this community, and you will become a better and healthier version of yourself almost immediately. That is guaranteed. We don't run ads on this show, so if you could do us one favor, if you get value out of today's show, just take 30 seconds out of your day, drop us a quick review. That helps the show out a lot, gets the show into the ears of more men who could potentially change their lives and become a healthier version of themselves. So let's dive in. With us today, we have the one and only, the legend, Rick Disney. This man is on a mission, and so far to this day, and he's probably going to correct me because his exact number stuff is not something I can keep up with because he's crushing it that much. The last check's probably 115 pounds in 210 days. Rick Disney, welcome to the show, my man. Pumped to have you on.
Thank you.
All right, so I told you there's one scripted question, and a man coming from where you did just not that long ago, you have absolutely crushed some own records that I've seen personally along my coaching journey. With that being said, what is your opinion, man? What are your thoughts about where we're at as a country in terms of health? Because that's obviously the task at hand is bring awareness out there. So let's hear it from you, man, because your opinion means a lot to me personally.
So to be honest, I think we're way behind the eight ball. You know, we as society, as guys, are raised as kids to, eat a certain way. In growing up, it was, you're not leaving the dinner table till you finish everything on your plate, whatever that is. And we as society, because of, an economic downturn or just availability of food resources around the world, that varies from table to table. For some, it might be, breakfast might be, hey, we're on the go. We got to go. It's got to be quick. So it's going to be, a breakfast bar, or it's going to be a bowl of cereal and that's out the door, or it's going to be a donut, and then lunchtime might be a quick peanut butter and jelly sandwich, a bag of Cheetos, and, dinner's going to be whatever fast food is closest on the way home from work after a 12-hour day. Yep. But it's just that on-the-go mentality that carries with us throughout our whole lives, to where we think, you know what, I don't have but 5 minutes to make breakfast, so I'm just going to grab a donut. I'm just going to hit a drive-through. And it's that drive-through mentality. I mean, they don't call it dollar death for nothing. There's no nutrients. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Hey, I'll have a Big Mac just like the next guy.
Yep, I get it.
But you just gotta limit it and realize there's so much great food out there, but just taking the time to rehab that recipe and just get a different mindset altogether. And over time, you just start getting a better habit of what you're putting in your body and how it's making you feel. Yeah, I mean, great. Yeah. I like same thing with the donuts is like, hey, I'm not going to lie. There's been times where I've gone by a Krispy Kreme and they got those hot glazed donuts coming right out of the oven. You can't resist it.
Dude. And who doesn't want to eat that? I mean, I know.
Just don't
Zach
do it every day.
I can crush some donuts, and it's not even like my favorite food. But I mean, I'll eat 12 of those things easily.
Yeah, I've done it.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
I've done it.
If you put a dozen donuts in front of me and I haven't had them in a while, and I'm like, damn, like I'll eat one, and then it's unleash the beast on that. I'll eight or nine deep before I'm like, dude, I could keep going. There's nothing to them, and a lot of people start their day with trash like that.
Yeah, and that's basically it. It's
garbage, dude. It is what it is. There's literally zero value to that. There's zero nutrient value to that.
Right.
I mean, so Love it, love it, love it. As you know, we've been excited for this interview for a while, and look, this will be round one. Like we consider this more of a fireside chat with Rick than because look, you're not going anywhere. I told you that when we started the show. You're with us. We see you growing into a leader and a mentor inside of Unleash Your Legacy, and we're so proud of that. And so, what we want to do today is kind of unpack your journey, because there's a lot of guys out there who didn't have it as bad as you to start. You went through a lot of shit, man. Like, the from top to bottom. I know the things that you're going to list off here. I don't want to list one, because then I'm tempted to say more, and I want you to share that with us. But man, like, I know, not that long ago, you were in a real dark spot, and Zach and I have both been in dark spots before, but not nearly the dark spot that you've been in. My high weight was 60 pounds overweight. Zach and his chipmunk cheek pictures like that.
It was about 50.
Yeah. So look, man, like we were in a bad spot, but not the kind of spot that you were in. And now, like, I told my wife yesterday, I was like, he's going to get under 200, and like, this is going to happen. And it's going to be insane when it does, but you're headed there, man. Like, I have zero doubts. And your mindset right now is like a freaking warrior. And I know that when you came in, like, one of your inspirations was Justin Dunham, who we've interviewed on the show before. And that guy, we all know that he's a hell of a guy, a stand-up dude, right? But you came in, got inspired by him, and came in and were like, you know what, 75 pounds in 6 months, like, let's do this. But like, I'm not just committing, like, I'm going to crush that. And you came in and did it. So let's talk about it. Let's start from the top, man. Like, 'cause Zach, I mean, I don't know, Zach and I have both heard the story, but then map it out from the start, and we'll just jam on it a little bit, because just take us back from at your darkest point. Like, start where it was done. You were done. You threw in the towel, and the next step was like, I got to do something, right? Take us there.
Okay. So, this was what now? Let's see, we're in May now. So we're going like 7-8 months back. It was at the point where I was pushing 4 bills, and on the scale. And a lot.
Now, that's the heaviest you've ever been, yes?
Oh, yeah, by a long shot.
Yeah.
By a long shot, and a lot had contributed to that. We had about a whole decade of annual loss of family members, in-laws, brother-in-laws, family, close friends. And, my wife's side of the family, my side of the family, just on both sides of the family. And then halfway through that decade, I get diagnosed, if that wasn't enough, I get diagnosed with a brain tumor that almost kills me. There was a pituitary brain tumor, which I know you, with a nursing background, you're familiar with. The pituitary gland, it destroys your testosterone. It destroys your hormone levels as a man. Your thyroid, your cortisol levels, everything is just destroyed.
Yeah.
And
That's so wild,
I just couldn't move. And then if that wasn't enough, not even 9 months into recovery on that, let's throw in a car accident because some jerk decides to not wait at a stop sign. And I blew out both of my knees. At 37 years old, I blew out both my knees because they folded underneath the driver's side the driver's side seat, and herniated not 1, not 2, but 9 discs in my back.
That's so wild, dude. Like,
so,
and that years, what was your weight when all that happened?
When we looked at, before I got diagnosed with the tumor, I was at around 250, 260, and I was kind of keeping it under control. And that was pre-diagnosed. And, as the headaches and the syncope is what they kept calling it. They kept calling it syncope because I would just randomly black.
All right, we're good.
Really just hit the floor. And they kept calling it syncope because, MRI is the big tit item that they didn't pay for. They didn't feel there was enough justifiable cause to do it. So my energy levels were just on a, it was like they were on the Titanic going down. The iceberg had already been hit. You know, Leonardo DiCaprio was looking to get the heck out of there, and the Titanic's going down. And so was my energy. And I just stopped going to the gym because I just couldn't. I couldn't get up. I was having a hard time because I was afraid that I'd be at the gym and have a syncope episode and black out with a barbell over me, and then it's going to be okay. That's going to be a different type of lights out this time.
Yeah, dude. Like,
And
I mean,
so I
that's
tried,
nuts.
just walking around, being in the pool with my wife, holding my hand the whole time just in case. And it was just a very scary time. And then after the surgery, because that just took so much out of me after they removed the tumor, that made it even, for a while, it actually made it worse before it got worse before it got better.
Wow.
And just as I was starting to finally get used to some form of a quote unquote normalcy, the accident happened. And I'm like, okay, I just took 4 steps forward to take 14 back, because now my knees are completely blown out. I'm going to have double knee replacement.
Did you have both knees replaced at the same damn time?
They did them 3 months apart.
I mean, so Zach and I mean, look, dude, like, let's go back. Zach and I were in a rough spot, but dude, have you, like, at your darkest, Zach, I mean, compare that to where Rick was at. I mean, dude, like a brain tumor and bilateral knee replacements 3 months apart, all within, like, that's the definition of when it rains and pours, bro. Like, I can't even imagine.
It was a hurricane.
This dude, I mean,
yeah,
what?
That's wild, man.
Like, your story, like, and I've known the summary of the story, but not in this kind of detail. And so as I'm listening to this, I'm thinking, like, all right, so the guys out there listening that, like, just can't get themselves motivated on Monday, they got to be listening to you thinking, well, shit, like, I don't have any excuses. This guy, I mean, you almost died multiple times, it sounds like. And now, I mean, and we haven't even got to the point of where you're at right now. And, like, you posted 777 something the other day, and we'll get there, because Zach and Anthony and I was shocked when I heard that, and I don't want to spoil it for the listeners, because we'll let you tell it. But dude, where you're at in the story right now has me sitting back thinking, who has an excuse? And when I go and I see your post, the video that you put up the other day in the group, by the way, thank you for that. Like, that that meant a lot to us as well, because the support that you show new guys when they come in is next level, and we appreciate that. But dude, when I see your videos, and I've told you this, everybody's inspired. No, whether it's in Unleash or even in the free group, dude, guys see you and they're like, man, that guy is doing some things, and so continue on. I wanted to throw that in there, because Zach and I talk about the excuse thing all the time, and a lot of those guys are full of them. I just, like, who has excuses after this, right? I mean, that's it. So that's where I'm at, man. Keep going. So you have the knee replacements 3 months apart. So they basically do one, and they're like, you got 3 months to rehab, and then we're doing the other one.
Yep.
All right. So you're there. So what's the next step?
So the next step was all the home care. I mean, the rehab was just like the inpatient rehab and everything like that. And one of the second knee replacement didn't go as good as the first one. Okay. So the second one, I had a multitude of problems because of some fluid. So they didn't have to go as far as going back in, but it did require a number of additional hospitalizations for a week at a time, to where they did some draining, some testing, some biopsies.
Is this thing infected?
Just to make sure there was no infection, because there was a lot of heat coming off it, which was showing all the telltale signs of infection.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, so I mean, just a lot of rehab, and then finally being able to get up and move around with a walker. I mean, here I am, a 40-year-old man walking around with a walker.
What was your weight at that time?
At that point, that's when, because of the accidents and everything, at that point, that's when I had gotten right around 320, 330.
And how tall are you again?
5'8".
5'8" at 320.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. That right there is insane. And then you took it almost to 4 bills at 5'8".
Yeah,
I mean,
because at the most, I think at the most it was like 3. Yeah, it depends on the scale I look at, and according to the doctor's notes, it was somewhere between 385 and 390 before, when I got started, because at that point I got to the point to where I could move around. I didn't have a proper nutrition plan. I didn't know my way around a gym. I wasn't taking any time for myself for anything that, that you teach us, with, taking time out for meditation. Now I've added, not that long ago, I added a spiritual, component to it. But in sleep, I didn't care because, my sleep was already so messed up. It didn't matter. And between the brain tumor and everything over the years, my body was already sleeping. It was one thing I could do. It wasn't the quality of sleep, but I got a lot of sleep, but it was just crap sleep.
well, like, and here's the thing, like, and I wanted to ask Zach too, like, before we continue on, let's go back a step, because Zach, when you see somebody who's 5'8", 390, like when you see that kind of person, what's the first thought that comes to your mind? Because I'll tell you, the first thought that comes to my mind is miserable. And I immediately feel terrible for that person. So that's like, Rick, when you tell me that description and I see you in the grocery store, I'm like, man, like that, there's no way that person can be happy, right? Like there's no way that person can love life like I love life. Like, what do you think, Zach?
No, I'm in the same boat, man. The way I like to see it
saddens me.
is, yeah, the way I like to see it is I like to identify people's potential. And when I see somebody like that,
that's naturally what we do, though, right?
It's naturally what we do, because we like to find potential in people where they don't see it to exist, right? Because for some people, this is normal, but it's not. That's the thing. The only reason why they believe it's normal is because the way America's been trending over how many decades now.
Yep.
But it's absolutely not, man. You're absolutely right. There's no way that a person that could be that size can be living their best life, no matter what they say. They can say it, but you can't, deep down in their soul, let's call it what it is. I like to say that, I keep it true. I keep it real. There's no way that a person is maximizing every part of their life at that kind of weight.
No. And it's not judgmental at all. It's not
at all. It's just, it's sad because we want that person to realize the potential they have and help them become the best version of themselves. So it's,
we want that person to be Rick, right? We want that person to model exactly what is happening with Rick, because when I see that, like if I'm out in the grocery store, for example, and I walk down an aisle and I see someone that's 400 pounds at 5'8", and it saddens me, because I know that with a few rewirings up here, right? Like getting this thing switched into the Rick switch.
I almost feel like they feel defeated. Like, this is it. This is my fate. I've accepted it. There's no way around it. There's no change. I'm screwed. That's my life. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like that's the mentality you have. But like you said, to your point, like with a few switches and a few turns of some knobs in the head, they'll realize that's absolutely not the case.
Well, and Rick is a walking example of this, and that's why this is so important for people who are anywhere in their journey, because I know there's people that are worse off than Rick was, right? You've got these 600-pound life and stuff, but like, Rick, so let's go pick up where he left off. This is such a valuable piece of content for anybody out there that's anywhere in their journey. Again, going back from a dude that literally almost died from a brain tumor. Now you have these bilateral knee replacements. One of them, lots of issues. Like, you're at a point where you got to be like, giving up is not that far away, right? Like, was there ever a point in your journey where you're like, I can't figure it out. Like, I'm just going to give up. Did you ever think that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it got to the point to where I didn't want to go to work, because of just the, a cross between the no energy and then the fact that just so much is walking up a flight of stairs, to get into the office was just so winded. And, you know, I was just so mentally exhausted from everything I had been through mentally and physically.
I can't imagine.
And, you know, it was just a nightmare. You know, it was getting to the point, I mean, it was getting to the point where it was uncomfortable to drive my car, you know, and because I had a really long commute at the time, it was an hour and 10-minute commute each way.
Holy
And if you do the math, an hour in the car each way, believe it or not, 5 days a week comes out to 20 calendar days a year behind the wheel.
Jeez.
For a dude that was not comfortable in a car.
No, and I had a desk job. So, and I had a desk job that did not allow me to get up and move. So you're chained to the phone, and that's it.
There's so many people out there that are in that exact situation, close to where you are at right now. Like if they could just hear you talking right now, might be enough to flip that switch, dude, because you're the definition of a guy who literally did a complete 180 with the quality of your life. Like that is the piece that the majority of people that Zach and I ever talked to about coming into Unleash Your Legacy or coming into Man Up, they want quality of life. That's it. You know, there's the guys out there that have the desire to eventually have a six-pack, but like you're the definition of a guy who literally did a 180 on your quality of life because of your actions. And it's such an impressive thing to see, dude. Like I am so honored to be a part of your journey.
I want to know, Rick, so what was like the turning point for you? Was it the defining moment of everything that happened, or was it a singular event like that was the last straw that I need to change something? Because we just talked about how whenever we see anybody who's you know, morbidly obese, we're just like, wow, this person just doesn't realize the potential that they have. So what was it that flipped the switch for you where you're like, damn, I have potential. I need to make a few changes. Was it one event? Was it a series of events? What was it that did it for you?
Well, and before he goes there, here's the crazy thing. Wait, so Rick, I'm sorry to cut you off. Here's the crazy part, Zach, is that the switch was like halfway flipped. Because Rick and I spoke, dude, and I don't know if I told you that. Rick and I spoke like a year prior to him coming into Unleash. So we've known each other. We've been connected for a while. I don't even know how. I used to see his little profile picture pop up. We'd message back and forth every once in a while. I was like, I really need to help this guy. And like he flirted with the idea a little bit. And then finally reached out like a year later again, and I guess that was and so I'm curious to hear, because I'm like, dude, we were there, right?
It was actually a fight with the wife, believe it or not. It was an argument with my wife. We were at the zoo, just trying to have a day ourselves at the zoo, and this was probably a month after the second surgery, a month or two after the second surgery, knee surgery. And I was trying to get around with a walker.
At the zoo. How old were you then?
See, this was second surgery. So this was 2017. So I was 40.
Okay.
So
a 40-year-old man with a walker at the zoo.
Yep. Yeah. Real sexy, right? No, and
I went to the zoo yesterday, by the way.
And I'm not going to throw that in there. And you know what? And I don't mean that to be bad. I mean, because
I get it.
I know there are legitimate reasons to have one. Of course. But the reason, but mine's just more a little bittersweet because of the fact that it was just because some jerk decided he couldn't wait 12 seconds at a stop sign and decided to blow it. So because mine was more criminal, that's why I guess I'm a little bittersweet about it. But
you have that right, dude. Come on. I mean, you reserve that right. I'd be pissed too.
Yeah. So getting around the zoo, I'm trying to be there with my wife. It's hot as hot as Hades outside. It's one of these rare days.
Dude, I can't even imagine. What month is this in Michigan?
This would have been September, mid-September. And it was
just sweating like a 400, like
here I am, a big guy, in pants, comfortable clothes as I can be in, with a walker, huffing and puffing at the zoo,
sweating,
and it's 97 degrees outside with 80% humidity. And I am just screaming and hooting and hollering, causing a big old scene. And I don't care because I'm just absolutely miserable trying to get to the zoo, around the zoo to look at some
I'm
freaking
picturing
animals.
it now, dude. Your description is great because that is the definite. When I said miserable earlier, when I see that situation, because I went to the zoo yesterday and I didn't see that, but if I did, that is the word that I think of is miserable. And I don't mean to laugh because your description fits it to a T, dude. And I can tell how dark of a place that was for you. It's crazy. Like that's rock bottom, man.
No, rock bottom was when I had called and met with not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 different bariatric surgery centers and specialists. And each of them told me the exact same thing. Because of your level of obesity and your BMI, it's actually too much of a health risk to put you under the knife. So I was too big to go under the knife for weight loss surgery.
All right. Here is the perfect segue to transition away from the negative and over to the positive. All right, because
I want to know. Wait, I want to know what the argument was that flipped the switch first for him.
well,
I don't think he even got to that
right
point.
like this, that's like a big F you, dude. That's what he's doing right now to all those people who denied him the opportunity of that surgery. He's like, you know what? I don't need the surgery. And that's, I mean, this is gold. So if you have something addition that is great, throw it out there. But dude, I'm even more excited for you. I did not know that you got denied 5 times.
Yeah. Well, the big FU is I reached out to all of them one day without them really knowing initially, and did a sort of a party line. It did a conference call and just acted like, hey, I got to put you on hold real for a second. But what they all didn't know was I was putting all of them on a conference call at the same time. And I said, hey, I just want to give you an update.
That's smart ass. Wait. That's some wizard ass shit, Rick. I would not have thought to do that. You wanted to say your story one time. I love that.
I've been in a call center in the call center environment for 25 years. I know some crazy tips and tricks.
That's gold,
so
right? For any of the listeners.
I get them all on the phone, and and I just addressed it as doctor because they didn't know which one I was really talking to. So I said, Doc, I want to give you a heads up. I hired a nutritionist / trainer 3 months ago, and just so you know, I'm already down over 65 pounds. So you can take your program and the exuberant amount of money you charge for it, and you can shove it up your big golfing ass.
Woo! Oh, that is such gold, dude. Like, that is so. Oh my God! I mean, it is you inspire so many people, and you don't even know. Like, you know the ones that you inspired directly because they tell you, right? Like, so you've got a little Rick Disney wave, right?
Some of these people I don't even know. I still don't even know to this day. They just tell me, hey, I saw your interview, dude. You changed my life.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say. You don't understand how many people, not only in the Facebook group, but everywhere, man. Like, your shit, it's next level inspiration, man. Like, so let's go there. Let's talk about this. Okay, so and I can give the shortened version of the beginning. Like, you started off with some resistance bands, said, screw this, I'm ready for more, and let's go. And that happened like in a span of like 3 days. Okay, so that's the short version. But what I want to know right now, and I think is going to add a ton of value to the listeners out there, is let's go mindset and talk about some of the things that worked for you, that clicked, that made this thing what it is today. Because and we got the 777 thing to talk about. We got all these competitions that you guys are doing inside of Unleash Your Legacy to jam on for a minute. So what happened up here in your estimation, what went right and wrong here that got you to where you're at right now? Because I know that there's lots of factors, but dude, this right now is it's insane. Like you blow my mind. And I told you the other day, I never thought I was going to have to reach out to a nearly 400-pound man to tell him to slow down and listen to his body and watch it, because you're taking shit beyond what I ever imagined would happen. So give us the lowdown, man, because this is some wizardry itself.
All right. Well, for starters, there's a correction. It wasn't after 3 days of. It wasn't only after 3 days of resistance bands. It was like, full disclosure, I used those boys for about 3 or 4 weeks. It was about almost the first 30 days before I had you turn me on to, weight machines. So, and hey, I'm not gonna lie. For those that are listening, you can get a hell of a workout with resistance bands if you do them right. And
100%.
to this day, I'm
not knocking those. I'm not knocking those.
I still use them, because and this is all part of the mindset shift that I've had, is because I have a desk job, but I get to work from home right now because we're in a pandemic. Between phone calls, I actually have those bad boys under my feet, and I will actually do bicep curls while I'm waiting for a phone call, because I don't want to just be a desk jockey anymore. And during my lunch, I intentionally increased my work day so I could take a 1 hour lunch. And at my 1 hour lunch, I come out and I play with my puppy for the full hour. And she is a husky and she runs. And now I'm running around the yard with her. And I couldn't even when we first got her last January and adopted her, I would sit on the chair and say, all right, go play, go play, go play. But now I'm running around with her. I'm running around with my granddaughter. I got a 3-year-old grandbaby. And now they're actually part of my workouts. They are doing, they help me with
you literally 180'd your quality of life, dude.
I literally,
you were on a walker not that long ago. If you think about it,
I do a put it back on challenge once to twice a week.
This is great.
And this is, how this works is my puppy, she's a full blown husky now. She weighs about 60 pounds. So the first 60 pounds, what I was doing is I was grabbing her in my and every time I do it in my favorite Mortal Kombat character, Scorpion's voice. Get over here. And I grab her and I run and I go up and down our stairs. We have 25 stairs from the main floor to upstairs. And I do it 3 times. Or when my granddaughter comes over, she likes to play a game called Horsey. So what she used to do is jump on my back. Well, one day I got tired of it. So while she was doing it, I just started doing push-ups, and she sat still. And my granddaughter, she's 3 and she's about 60, 70 pounds, so. But
shout out to Anthony right here, because Zach, Anthony is always like, make fitness fun, right? Like that's his little
fun. And that's where I stole it from.
This is the shout out to Anthony, because this is all that, dude. You have defined that.
Yeah, and it is. And
go ahead.
And it's not just that. I mean, it's chasing them around the yard, having a water war, or
quality
just
of
playing
life.
ball with my dog, or just going for a jog in the park. It's fun, quality of life. I mean, when I go to the ball game now, my first ball game back was in April, and that was my motivator to not only meet Justin 75 in 6 months, but crush it, because I started October 19th. Opening day was April 1st, and I knew the first game I was going to go to was around the 3rd or 4th of April. So it gave me about less than 6 months to get myself ready for Comerica Park. And the first game back, no walker, none of that shit inside sight. Didn't take the elevator down the 5 flights of the garage, took the stairs down, took the stairs back, and at the ballpark, we parked 4 wet blocks away. I'm doing a light jog into the ballpark, and then I'm jogging up and down the stairs to get my beer, get my dog, and just enjoying being at the ballpark. Yeah.
Okay, so we're, as of today, May 16th. Where are you at? What's the stats, the numbers? How many pounds down? How many days? Where are you at now, as of today?
Okay, so May 16th. I didn't think to look at what day that would be. From October 19th to today.
Okay, so October 19th to May 16th.
Yeah. Yeah, October 19th to May 16th. So we're right at about 7 months. And if we factor in based on 386, considering I am now 268,
Holy shit.
that is 118 pounds. Yeah, 118 pounds.
268, bro. Like, what is going on?
And I'm down from 52% BMI down to 31, and a size 64-inch waist to a size 44.
Wow.
I mean, Zach, like, what's going on, man? Like,
Wow.
what is what is this?
And you've seen the
That's
shorts
some-
that I've been
hey,
putting up. I mean, my shorts,
that's-
you know, my shorts, my shirts. I mean, you've cost me a whole lot of wardrobes. I mean, you know, Ed warned me, Ed
life's
Thompson
getting
warned
more
me about these
expensive.
hidden costs, and he wasn't lying. I mean,
Look, this is obvious. This is, we got a couple more things to talk about, but I want to go here for a second because Zach, as you and I, like, in this space, we see a lot of this, right? And you'll resonate with this, right? So when you see a story like Rick's and someone's out there advertising something like Rick, right? We'll talk the business side for just a second here. And they say results like this, not typical, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know where I'm going with this shit? Like, this,
I already know.
this
I already
blows
know.
my mind, right? Like,
Yeah.
so you see somebody say that they're like, results like this, not typical, you know, and this is one of those, Rick, you are a mind-blowing story, dude. I'm telling you, you're at 268. I had no idea. I didn't know you were quite that low yet. You are going to get
I wanted it
under
to be a surprise.
Huh? What'd you
I wanted
say?
it to be a surprise.
Dude,
I wanted it to be a surprise.
yeah.
Surprise.
I'm over. Okay. First of all, to all the listeners now, that you guys who watch on YouTube, I mean, cheers right now. I'm almost done with my beer. I have been drinking a beer during this episode to celebrate
Yes.
Rick. I failed to even say that shit. But here's the deal.
He is
Like,
drinking a beer. I can confirm.
I'm like next level fucking mind blown. I mean, like 268, dude.
Wow.
You were 386. Like,
Yeah.
what
And,
is going on?
you know, and then this is the other part I'm going to add in here, because a lot of people think, you know, well, okay, so, you know, you're a big guy, you're losing fat. No, I'm also
Yeah. You got the gun show going on.
gaining muscle.
This guy. Yeah.
You know, I mean,
So-
you know, my arms started out at 14 and 3/4 inches. They're almost 19 inches now.
He has bigger biceps than both of us.
Oh, for sure. Oh, this guy.
And I started out barely being able to curl like 15 pounds, and now I'm on the preacher curl machine doing, you know, 4 sets of 15 of 95 pounds without
That's insane, dude.
thinking twice about it.
Zach, why results not typical like this? Why is that a thing? Because if you come in and you basically model Rick's behavior for that same span of time, why the hell wouldn't anybody else be able to do this? It's literally just coming in. If you're a 386-pound man listening right now, and you came in and did exactly what Rick has done from point A to point Z so far, why can't results? I'm not going to say they're exact, but you know, because everybody's body's a little bit different. But why can't that be typical? Well, like, what are your thoughts on that?
There's absolutely. Dude, absolutely no reason why results like that can't be typical. But you know what? I think the biggest differentiating factor would be, if I had to choose one, it would be the mindset. Because there's a lot of people
100%.
out there who will preach the fitness part, they'll preach the nutrition part, but they don't preach all the other things that we cover, right? Especially the mindset, because we have our 4 core pillars, right? But on the foundation of that is the mindset piece. And that's something that a lot of these fitness people don't talk about.
100%.
So I think if everybody taught their people how to shift their mindset and just create these healthy habits and behaviors, results like this would be typical.
I agree.
And
we
it
talked
should
about
be.
the raising the floor,
Raising the floor, man. Let's not talk about the dreams
non-negotiable
and raising the
priorities.
ceiling. That's it. Let's raise the
This guy is
floor, our
taking
minimum
this, like-
standards.
Yeah. And so, okay, so mindset. Here's our segue to this. Let's talk the 777, bro. Because
There you
Zach
go.
and Anthony, I told my wife yesterday. I was like, so this guy, and I'm not gonna ruin it. I'll chime. Go ahead. I'll chime this in after you tell the story because I don't want to ruin it. This is next level. When you posted this, bro, and like sent me that message, I was like, what did we do to this guy? Because Justin comes and blames us for turning him into a marathon runner. He messaged me the other day. He goes, he's like, why the fuck did you turn me into a marathon runner? I'm like, bro, I hate running. That shit is all on you.
Yep.
So this guy just went out. Look, he completed his first marathon, just went out and registered for the Boston Marathon and took it a whole nother level. Talk about mentorship and investing in yourself. This guy goes and hires a professional marathon coach who he paid a very nice healthy fee to train him to run the damn Boston Marathon. Like, talking about mindset, you don't need to be a runner, but that's next level shit. And so Rick is following this same path on his own journey. So tell us about the 777, dude.
Okay, well, for starters, I'm not following his journey to where I'm not going to be out there running like that. I'm not that nuts. You know,
I'm not that nuts. Yeah.
I'm with you there.
Bro, you are nuts.
Although not long ago, I ran my first of now it's been 10 5Ks and got your butt out there running that day.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. Shout out to you, dude. So we don't want to hide that. Okay. You guys, I'm not a runner. The reality is part of my workouts when it's nice outside, spring usually, or fall, not in the summer. Summer's way too hot in Texas. I will come home after the gym if it's an interval day for me, and I'll do some sprints outside. That's the extent of my running. I enjoy some 50, maybe 100-yard sprints on occasion. Okay. I am not.
Did you say enjoy?
That's a good point. Yeah. They suck. Okay.
The extent of my running is running away from a dog that's chasing me.
Listen, I don't fall in love with the process. Anthony talks about that. Let's fall in love with the process. I fall in love with the result. All right. I know that if I do sprints, I'm going to like what I see in the mirror more. It's a selfish thing if you want to go there. However, this guy, I see him doing this 5K shit. I'm like, you know what? Like maybe I should go and try to run and see how far I could run into my neighborhood, right? I was just going to say, I'm going to run as far as I can until I can't run anymore. And then I'll turn around and I'll walk and I'll jog and I'll walk and I'll jog back. Well, like I did decent, but I regretted it. I mean, like he inspired me to do it, but I run far enough to where I'm like mad about now I got to walk all the way back, right? Because like,
I would have called
I'm not running back. Fuck that. I don't want to do that again. It sucked. So the fact that you got me to do that, dude, is like nobody else does that. It blew my mind when I came back and I'm like, I literally just did that shit because of Rick. I mean, like, what the hell is that? So keep going, dude. That is.
So a lot of it was the competitive nature in me, and
yeah.
We get a lot of competitions going and just friendly banter and stuff in the group, which I love, and one thing that, inspired me to do the 777 and it's changed since then is, one of the guys in our group, Seth Wood, he had to do.
Shout out to you, Seth. You got
he
the
had to do
drop there. I love it.
He had to do punishment burpees for every time he hit the snooze bar. And it wasn't, he could have seriously have just been, yep, I did him. But this guy takes a video of himself doing it to put videographic proof up. And I'm like, well, you know what? I'm ready for a change. You know what? I can't do burpees, but I've done the push-up thing, but you know what? Let me do a plank. Let me just do a plank. And I'd never done them before.
Who decides to do that? Like, let me do a plank.
And I was like, you know what? Let me start with, and after 30 seconds, my arms were just shaking. So I'm like, all right, I'm good.
We all know that. And Zach, do you do planks very often, bro?
Nah, man.
Yeah. So
I'm not even gonna explain. No.
Yeah. There's no need. It was a yes or no question.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite thing. And that shake, everybody knows that shake, dude.
Yeah. No, you only do that if you want to slow down time. We all know that.
Yeah. So listen to this guy though. Whoa.
So I decided to take a tip from this guy Zach that told me, you know what? After 2 weeks of doing anything, just increase it. I'm like, okay. So this guy from Vegas that was a Warriors fan, he tells me, just increase it by 30 seconds each time. I'm like, all right, I can do that. What the hell? Why not? And it got to the point where it was a
I don't
minute.
think he was talking about planks, bro.
And then
I wasn't talking about planks, but hey,
just increase
you
it.
interpret it how you want.
Hey,
he
bro.
didn't tell me that. He didn't tell me that part. Maybe he had too many fuku burgers that night, But he didn't tell me he wasn't talking about planks. He left that part out. He was just talking about working out. So I took it the wrong way and applied it to planks. And it got to the point where the 777, long story short, came from is I did 7 sets of 7-minute planks with 30 seconds rest in between. So if you do the math, that is 51 and a half minutes of doing planks.
It doesn't make sense.
No,
it doesn't. No,
it doesn't make sense, man.
It seriously
The
doesn't.
math makes sense. The ability to do that doesn't. That's insane.
And I did it in
the world's longest plank is like some crazy 7-hour something, and I'm like, dude, this guy might have it in him, right? Like,
dude.
And my goal is 20 minutes, and
jeez.
my goal is 20.
Who sets
and
I did
this
having a 20-minute plank.
Dude.
And
I'm so confused, Rick.
I mean, if you would have asked me 7 months ago, I guess I would have probably said maybe a 20-second plank, And
I just had a brain tumor and bilateral knee replacements. Fucking.
I'll be lucky to get down onto the ground. My goal will be to get into the plank position, let alone do one. And so and I do it. And when I do them, I typically do them first thing in the morning. And someone asked me, like, what the hell do you do with all that time? And I typically do some meditation. I just put on some meditation music, some
I've
got one of
the definition of killing multiple birds with 2 stones, like 3 birds with 2 stones.
Yeah, I get I got a white noise machine that does like thunder and stuff like that, or I'll just crank up some favorite music because, as guys, we have a lot of, a lot of things going on with our system, our circulatory system. And a lot of that is glandular and stuff like that. And then you get things like, your testosterone going.
Yeah, I mean, your libido's probably not hurting these days, my man.
No, I got a happy wife. And
look, but here, and look, we laugh at that. Okay, hold on. Like, this is awesome. This is the shit we live for. So
yeah. So in the morning.
Hold on, like the libido thing. There's a lot of guys out there listening right now. They're like, shit, I haven't been able to do that in a while, right? And that's it. It's not to be taken lightly or taken for granted because it's a fucking very important part of a man's life. Yep. I don't care if you're gay or straight, right? Like,
well, it had been almost 2 years. It had been almost 2 years prior because. Because
it's kind of an important deal. I mean, look, dude, like it
was almost a marriage breaker because of the fact that it just wasn't happening.
If I didn't have that in my marriage, no. I would not be okay with it. Not at all.
Oh, I wasn't.
Imagine being a dude that like you were that guy. It doesn't happen for. I don't think Zach, that's not something you could just cut out of your marriage.
No. Why be married?
No explanation needed. So anyway, I have to throw that out there. Keep going.
Yeah. So in the morning, I've been finding that, because of the happy life now, hint, hint, my testosterone levels are much higher in the morning than they are normally. And also at the same time, my ghrelin levels are a lot lower. And for those that are listening that aren't familiar with ghrelin is, this part of you that says, I'm hungry. And, how you can remember that
you gotta beat the ghrelin.
Just to simulate, for the guys listening, to remember the term ghrelin, just simulate with the gremlin, like in the movie The Gremlins, like wild, crazy, like, I gotta eat. So.
I gotta eat.
To curb that, I just got my mind on something other than the old mentality of I just woke up, I gotta eat in 30 minutes because all the experts, they all say that shit. Like, you got to eat within 30 minutes. You got to have a full square meal within 30 minutes of waking up. And I said, fuck that. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to,
told you, we get a little loosey-goosey over here on this one.
So I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to exercise in the morning because all these other guys in the group are getting their butts out of bed in the morning, and I'm waiting till after work and after dinner. Okay, you know what? What the hell? I'm going to do 2-a-days now. I'm going to do 2-a-days, maybe 3 days, but I'm going to do 2-a-days, and I'm going to get up and crack it on and do something. So I started doing planks, and it just got longer and longer and longer and longer. And yeah, that meant I was getting my ass up earlier and earlier and earlier because I'm like, well, if I get up at a certain time and I got to punch in at 8 o'clock and I'm going to do 49 minutes worth of planks, I better get up a lot earlier than 7 o'clock to make it happen.
Who even thinks of that? I'm going to go do 49 minutes worth of planks. Dude, it
wasn't planned. It just kind of happened. I was like just a really quiet day in the house.
You played a role, bro.
I had nothing better to do.
On accident.
Yeah. That wasn't intentional, but that mindset stuff.
No, it just kind of happened that day. I just got really into some music. I'm big into about creating playlists now, and I'll bounce back and forth between like Imagine Dragons, Skillet, Green Day,
that's so fun.
80s rock, classic rock, something. Country, it ain't gonna happen. I'm sorry, country's gonna put me to sleep. I'll listen to it once in a while, but I'm sorry, it's not on my playlist for any workout ever at all.
Look, the fact that you're talking about the music now and not trying to get motivated is it, dude. Like we feel like our mindset training's kind of magical. I mean, look where you are right now. So
from brain tumor to brain shift, man.
Yeah, dude. And there you go. That might be hey, Des, make that the title of the episode. So here's the deal. All right, so let's. We're getting almost an hour, and we don't usually go this long, but we know this is going to be an episode for the ages. And Rick, I know, like, shit, go share this with all your folks, man. Just get it out there because they're all going to want to hear this. Let's close shop with the thing that we all enjoy most. And by the way, my glass is empty and I'd like to be full again. Let's close shop with the burgers and beer, and not necessarily all about that, but let's talk your life right now and how you've done all of this despite being able to continue to do your thing with that, because that's really you and me are both food guys. I was never almost 400, but I was in a dark place. Zach's also very much a food guy. I've seen it myself, witnessed it firsthand. We love burgers. Zach likes some beer too. I saw that. No,
I like everything.
So I want to know, like, talk to us about that. Share a little bit about, let's spend a couple of minutes there, and then we'll close shop for the day. Go in there and tell us about how that's worked out for you, man, because obviously as somebody who was almost 400 pounds, you like food, right? That's not a secret.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's go there and talk about how you've been able to continue doing all this despite having that part of your life not change a whole lot.
All right. So, yeah, I do have to close with this because I do got to.
Yeah. We went a while, dude. We know. Yeah. This was great.
Yep. So I'm already getting the like, hey, where are you? The game's on. We're supposed to be watching this together. Well, it's a ritual in our house. The Tigers. My wife and I watch the games together. So she's like, where the hell you been? So that's exactly it. One thing I made very clear to you from the get-go is I'm not giving up my burgers and I'm not giving up my beer. I'm gonna eat like a damn man. I'm not. Full disclosure, this entire time over 7 months, I have not even so much as even purchased or even thought of taking any of those on-market fat burner crap. I haven't had any, I've had an occasional smoothie once in a while, but it was usually as a post-workout, not part of my normal routine. I'm not munching on a bunch of grass, wheat grass or wheat juice or any of that crap. I am seriously, no lie, no holds barred, at least once a week, having one of the biggest, juiciest, fattest, most creative burgers I could fathom. Half the time now I'm actually making them myself. It wasn't even but 2 weeks ago I took on one that they called the I-94. This thing was over 2.5 pounds of ground beef, 5 types of cheese, bacon, guacamole, sour cream. I had to eat this thing with a knife and fork. But my go-to is typically, there's a place in town that's a slider bar, and I'll eat 3 or 4 sliders. These are not White Castle. These are handcrafted, hand patted, all fresh, never frozen. Kobe beef, 3.5-ounce sliders, and I get them done a different way. One's a breakfast slider. It's got my fried egg on it. One is my nut butter one, and it's got almond butter and strawberry jelly on it. And then the other one is the mac and cheese, and it's exactly what it says. It's a hamburger, but it's got.
Those sound delicious.
It's got 3 spoons of macaroni on it, and then I drink a couple beers, a couple good, a couple good stouts or porters. I'm not an IPA man. Sorry, Jason.
It is all good in the hood, my man. Beer is beer.
Or I'll have some sour beers, and they have one called Hazel's Nuts by Oddside Ales. It's a double imperial espresso stout. And when it
advertise for those guys, man, they owe you a little.
That's my kind of beer.
Yeah,
right
and
there.
when it comes to the table, I mean, you smell the nutty aroma, you smell the coffeeness of it.
This guy's making my mouth water.
Dude, look, needless to say, none of our guys are suffering, all right, in the food department.
Yeah, that's it.
We'll put it that way.
And if it's not, if you're not a burger guy, I mean, I still eat fajitas, I still eat barbecue, I still eat fried chicken. But the thing is I limit it to no more than once or twice a week, and I usually push it off on the weekends. Occasionally it happens during the week if something's coming up, a big event or something. But then I just let that be, and then it gives me something to look forward to the next week. And trust me, I'm putting in the work.
Yep. You earn
so
that.
that when I get to have it, I get to enjoy it. And I'm not counting calories. I'm not counting nutrients. I'm not counting nothing that day. It's not happening.
Oh, dude, it's life. You're living life. You're living your best life. That's it.
Yeah.
Love it, dude. Well, look, man, we could not be more pumped for you. We're going to do this again because here's the deal, dude. Like, you're at 268 right now. We got work to do. We got work to do. Look, this has been awesome, dude, and we really appreciate your time. Go enjoy your Tigers game. Zach, like, you got anything you want to say to this dude before we do this again in 6 months?
No, dude, like I said, dude, brain tumor to brain shift, man. That's literally what this entire episode's about. For everybody who's listening, you don't know where the heck you are. You're in a dark place. You know you want to make change, but you just kind of think your fate is your fate. That's not true. It's absolutely not true, man. You just need to look for the right guidance. That's really all it is, man. Anybody could achieve anything. You just got to know how and get put forth, like step into the right direction, man. And that's what we do here. So, Rick, we just want to thank you, man, for being on this episode and just giving some insight for these people that are in a dark place and they just don't know what to do next.
Yeah,
or they think that's just it.
As we always say, man, it's not who you are, it's just where you're at. It's just where you're at. If you need our help, man, click that link in the comments, grab a spot on our calendar. We're always happy to help. If you got value out of today's episode, please take 30 seconds, drop us a quick review. Helps the show out a ton. We'll see you guys next week. Crush it this week. Remember, today is Monday Momentum. Create that shit for yourself and leverage it and take this and run with it, man. We will see you guys next week. We really appreciate your support. You guys have a fantastic week.